Hi, Mrs. Cherry. This is Patrick Beanie again from the Central Pennsylvania Digital Learning Foundation. I wanted to give you a real brief walkthrough of what this Summit Learning Platform looks like. So I am signed in right now as Damien, so this is his view. So we can see right here, it shows all of his activity and basically what he did on the day with the date. So and it goes back I think it shows the first 20 things. Now it looks like he took a whole bunch of diagnostic assessments, which Mrs. Gibbons kind of followed up and told him not to take them over and over again. Let me break this down and show you what that looks like. So the first thing is we're going to look at the year view, and again, anything that goes through this blue line is what he should be working on. So every single day this blue line moves a little bit more and more to the right. So in English right now he should be finishing up the essay. There's three major things that he's going to do. There's the projects, and the projects count for 70% of his total course grade. Next are the power focus areas, which are kind of the backbones and the everyday work that he'll need to do. And then the last one, we have what we call additional focus areas. Each of these are not required in order to pass. They are required if a student wants to earn an A in the course. They'll need to do that. So everything that we do in this is based on mastery. So if we go ahead and we take a look at the power focus area, the first one is on essays. So we're going to view it from his side. So the very first thing that you want to do is you want to take a diagnostic test. And then each of those diagnostic tests are tied into one of the 5 objectives that Damien is going to do. Okay? Now, he works through this, and we call this our playlist. So the first one with objective 1, he's going to open that up, and there are several there's several different kinds of lessons. The first one is a website that he kind of looks and breaks down what the 5 elements of an introduction paragraph is. Then he watches a video. Then he goes through a slideshow with hook help. He watches another video, and then we talk about claims and counterclaims. Now, there's no mini quiz on this. I mean, there might be quizzes built in to one of the slideshows or one of the something on the playlist. But once he's completed with that, then he'll come down to objective 2, and he'll work through these objectives. And again, so here's videos, documents, slideshows, notes, and then here's a check for understanding just on a quick quiz. Now, once he goes through each of these, he will request a content assessment, and that request will be sent to me, and I'll be alerted. So I'll be able to let him get in, and he'll take it. Now he has to. There's 10 questions, and he has to get at least an 8 out of 10. If he doesn't get an 8 out of 10, then it'll redirect him to go back through the playlist and study the things that he missed. And of course, I mean, obviously, as his English teacher, that's also my goal, is to go through that with him and say, so you're just kind of looking at this and you're not. Now, it is possible for him to just hit request again, but we can see right now that if he looked at this, let's say he looked at this video and he watched this video here, once he does that, it will put a check mark beside this on the right hand side, so he knows that he's already looked at it, and I know that he's looked at it. So a lot of times, unfortunately, the kids kind of just keep taking content assessments without looking at anything, and that's why we'll usually redirect them to go back and look at those, right? So those are what we call the power focus areas, and those are again part of the yearly grade. The other part is what we call a poetry slam, and the poetry slam, as you can see, takes almost the entire in fact, it does take the entire first quarter. So it's not just a one-day thing. The poetry slam in this case is something that he's going to need to do all semester long. So at the very bottom here are the 3 products that he's going to have to submit. So if I want to just look at that, I can go ahead and open this up, and so it's going to now bring up a final poetry analysis where he needs to write different poems, and then he's going to need to annotate those and analyze those. So it's not just a one-time thing. It's a rather lengthy process, but we do have built-in checkpoints along the way. As we can see, here's checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, checkpoint 3, checkpoint 4, and 5. So if he does all 5 of these, it kind of they all tie in with the bottom 3 of the poetry analysis, the original poetry slam, and the poetry slam. So, and again, this is 70% of his grade. And then the last one, or the additional focus areas, are for drama, conflict, and characterization. So this, I don't foresee him doing those. I'm certainly welcome to help him along in all of those. However, the major points to this are the poetry, so the projects, and the power focus areas. So I will continue to send kind of a quick snapshot of each of these. I am also working on getting you set up with a parent account, so you'll be able to kind of get in and see. And as I stated earlier, I'd be happy to walk through any of this with you to kind of let you see. We do have other options. If you don't think this would be the best fit for him, we could get him in a couple other courses. And he is with Mrs. Amy Walters, who's working as his special ed learning guide and kind of making sure that all of the teachers are making those adaptations and modifications to meet his needs. So, as I said, please reach out if you need anything.